Hello children, today we are going to study our next chapter of science, that is essential of life, air and water. Children, the most important things without which we won't be able to live is air and water. The air is all around us in our environment and we take it in when we breathe. The air consists primarily of oxygen, nitrogen, and small amounts of other gases. But we require fresh air, that is, oxygen, to survive. Air is a mixture of gases. So now we will study about the composition of air. Essentially, the atmosphere is a collection of gases that makes the earth habitable. It consists of 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, 1% water vapor, and minute amounts of other gases like argon, helium, and carbon dioxide. Children, let us begin with oxygen. Oxygen is a life-supporting component of air. We need oxygen to breathe, and if breathing is stopped, there is no supply of oxygen to the brain and the cells begin to die. Next is nitrogen. Nitrogen is a naturally occurring element that is essential for growth and reproduction in both plants and animals. All the things need nitrogen for their growth. Plants take nitrogen from the food we eat. Next is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a gas which is vital to life on Earth. Green plants use carbon dioxide gas to make their food. It is also used commercially in fire extinguishers and to carbonate beverages. Children, now let's see some of the properties of air. Like all matter, air has weight and occupies space. To prove this, we are going to perform some simple experiments. Experiment number 1. Invert an empty mug in a bucket full of water. The water will not enter inside the mug. It means that there is air inside the mug. Now, tilt the mug so that the water enters into it. The air escapes and the mug fills with water and easily goes inside the water. This experiment shows that air occupies space. Now we are going to conduct the next experiment. Take a scale, hang two equal-sized inflated balloons at equal distance from the center. Hang the setup at a convenient place. Balance the balloons so that the scale is perfectly horizontal. Prick one balloon and you will see the scale tilt towards the inflated balloon. This experiment shows that air has weight. Children, do you know that air is compressible and it exerts pressure? Since air has weight, it exerts pressure. Air pushes on things around it. This air pushes on things around it. This ability of air to push against things is known as air pressure. Children, now we will study about the uses of air. Children, there are many uses of air pressure in our lives. When we suck juice with a straw, air pressure reduces and the liquid rises into the straw. Toys such as the punching clown are inflated with air and they retain their shape because of air pressure exerted from inside. Vehicle tires are filled with compressed air so that they can bear the weight of a vehicle and can move easily. Aircraft can fly because of changes in air pressure as air pushes over its wings. And children, if there were no air pressure, you would not be able to fill up your fountain pen. Now, we will study about the next important thing of life, that is water. We use water for drinking, bathing, cooking, washing, etc. We also take water through other drinks like fruit juices, milk, tea, or coffee. Water is also present in the food we eat. Water carry nutrients to cells and carry waste from them. Therefore, water is a universal solvent. Water is a universal solvent as it has unique property of dissolving a large number of substances. The water that we use mainly comes from rivers, ponds, lakes and wells. Often sand, dirt, mud, germs, etc. make this water unfit for consumption. We call these substances impurities. Impurities are of two kinds, soluble impurities and insoluble impurities. Soluble impurities are the ones that dissolve in water, like salt and sugar, while the insoluble impurities are the ones that do not dissolve in water, like sand and germs. Now, we will learn the methods of removing impurities from water. Insoluble impurities such as sand can be separated by sedimentation and filtration. Sedimentation is a process of settling down of heavier insoluble substances. In this method, the mixture is allowed to stand undisturbed in a container. After some time, the insoluble substances such as mud settle down at the bottom of the container as sediments. This process is called sedimentation. Clean water can then be poured out into a separate container. This is called decantation. But decantation cannot separate the solid substances from water completely. These substances can be completely removed by filtration. Now children, filtration is a process to separate insoluble solid substances from liquids by passing the mixture through a filter. In this method, the water containing insoluble solid substances is poured into another container using a filter. Clear water collects separately in the container and insoluble solid remains behind in the filter. Clear water is called the filtrate, and the insoluble solid substance left behind is known as the residue. Now children, we will learn how to remove soluble substances from water. Soluble substances can be removed from water by evaporation or distillation. Evaporation is a process of converting liquid to vapor. In this method, water containing soluble impurities like salt or sugar is heated. On heating, water changes into water vapor and escapes. The impurity, that is salt or sugar, is left behind. Now, next process is distillation. Distillation is a process of purifying water by boiling it and condensing its vapor. This process requires a distillation flask, a cooling arrangement, and a collector. In this process, the impure water is heated in the distillation flask. It starts boiling and steam is formed. Steam rises up and enters the cooling arrangement only to change back into water. This pure water is collected in the collector. The impurities are left behind in the distillation flask. Now children, how can we remove germs from water? We can remove germs present in water either by boiling water for 15 minutes, as boiling kills microorganisms present in water, or by chlorination, that is, treating water with chlorine. I hope you have understood the lesson, children. Thank you. Till then, keep learning and keep enjoying.